All right. Right, we're back. Yeah, so we're back and we're gonna get right into it because there's a lot of photos. So I don't think I'm gonna have the the memory capability, or else I'm gonna have to cut the video or whatever, and that was a whole ordeal to re-render. But yeah, we'll just go to the cosplays. This is the cosplay section of what I saw at the SUPERNOVA Con, sporting the A99. And I tell you what, right now I am at ISO 2000, although technically it's telling me it's overexposed on the Zeiss 135mm f/22, because it's too bright out right now. I know, 2000 ISO. Oh my gosh, 2000 ISO. That's, oh my gosh. And I think, are we, yeah, we're 1/60. So, yeah, because going over 1/60 might be, excuse me, might be a bit too nauseous for just talking ahead. But yeah, 135, 22, f/22. So everything should be in focus. But yeah, we'll go over. Oh man, that's my car, of course. I need a. Oh, I didn't. Sorry. You know, Teslas. Oh. Man, I keep. Okay, I need to. Okay, whatever. Because I had my cap on the thingy anyway. So we're gonna go over the convention. So we did get some outside shots actually. So I'm just gonna go over in order. I thought this was cool. This is some dude, I don't know like most of these cosplay, because I'm just like, nowadays, before things were just like Full Metal Alchemist or Code Geass or like, Naruto and stuff like that, like things that were easy, Sailor Moon, things that like everyone knew. But now it's like there's just too many animes out there. I just can't keep track of them all. But yeah, this was going for more of a if you look at photos of like New York Fashion Week or something, or Paris Fashion Week, they always take like these picturesque paparazzi photos of like models. So I was like pretty much emulating that. One at 80,000th. Can you guess this one? Nice photo as well. It is a bit, well, the shadows weren't as strong in this one, but it's still 1 at 80,000th of a second. And if I'm not wrong, this was like f4 or f5. Like, I think people have to realize that like low light situations still work, but yeah, 1/80,000th of a second really helps capturing the movement, like the moment of like things that are moving to be not moving, right? And yeah, you could have done it 8,000th of a second, but it would actually have been too overexposed, right? Even if I stopped down to 125 ISO, it would have been too overexposed. I would have been on like I would have been on F like like 20 or something, or 22. Like I would have to be forced to use that, or F11. But I kind of want to get some background blur. Like, it's not the background blur that you cannot see everything in the background, because you can still see a parking cone. This one you can still, it's like, it's not a deep background blur, but it's just like enough that it separates you from the subject in the image. So the person in the image, right? And that was like, the whole point is to lower the ambient light. But because the sun is so powerful and oh so strong, right? All hail the sun, the mighty, mighty sun. I don't think anybody will get that reference. But because the light and photons are always moving, even if it's, to you, might be dim, the only way that you know, even through clouds, right? The camera can perceive the real photons from the sun. So that's why this is a revolutionary camera, because it's kind of unheard of, right? Am I recording? I just need to double check if I'm recording or not. Okay, I am. Yeah, it's too bright out right now, so I just couldn't see. But yeah, now when we get indoors though, oh, this is the last. I think this is Sonic. I know this is Sonic for sure. But yeah, this is another 80 thousandths of a second. I did get her like shoes and everything, so you know, gotta go fast. 80 thousandths of a second fast. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, although there's a lot of headroom at the top, so I wish that also she was, kind of short, so I would have to like crop and zoom in. All these are cropped actually. I had to crop it in because there's people, but this one didn't have a person, so I was like, okay, I'll just keep it in. Why not? See how, the perspective of the entire thing wasn't too bad, I'd say. But yeah, once we go inside, oof, that's when the lighting just kind of was like just fell down, right? This was on the f4 as well. I think I did a 1,000th of a second. Just some person. I thought it was cool. We did get a lot of blue color for this, so it looked nice. And then there's a lot of background blur. I think this is F. It actually, well, I don't see any. Well, I want to say it's F4 though, because it could just be a really tight shot if I'm not wrong. I would have to look at it again, because everywhere else inside, if I did 1.8, I just didn't like the look of it for the f1.8s, because I think there's only like 1 or 2 shots that are f1.8, and then the ISO is like usually like 5,000 to 12,800, like high ISO images, because I'd rather be able to capture no motion blur or whatever blur. I personally just cannot. I just hate blur, like when it comes to like motion blur like that, like when you take a photo, unless it's light, like I said before, light painting. I don't know, this is like a saying, I guess, I have no idea, but he's eating a burger, and I thought that was kind of hilarious to look at. Again, if there's any of you, I don't mind sending you the image. Then we're gonna go for the heavy hitters. We're gonna go for the cosplayers, like who, I guess they competed. I don't know about these people competed, if I'm not wrong. Oh, this one was a good one too, because this one shows you the light capabilities in capturing, right? If you didn't have the anti-flicker mode, and if you didn't have the global shutter, taking images like this, where it features a light fixture of some sort, and then there's like multiple light fixtures like around, because this is the arcade section. This was in the arcade room. I don't know what this machine is, but this guy was cosplaying, and he was playing some video game arcade machine. And if you take this photo, you would have been there for like, I don't know, maybe like 10 minutes or something, trying to take the shot. I took this in like two or three shots, right? Because I was just like standing there waiting for the framing to work. So, he's in the frame, and everyone behind him is blurred, or people that aren't him are blurred. So the only thing in focus is like some metal bar thing in the back, but I guess that's like kind of inevitable when it comes to those things. But yeah, it's not that see, this camera I'm not trying to say that this camera is the end all of like, oh, you couldn't take that shot with yes, you can take the shot with a regular any other mirrorless or DSLR camera, but the issue becomes that, do you have the time, right, to like really stay there and take that shot? If you're doing a photo shoot where you're in a set design, but if you're outside, right, where there's the nature, there's the sun, everything moves every second, literally every second, right? It could be a bunch of clouds going through. So the whole point of this camera really is just to, like I said before, it's supposed to just save you time in your workflow. And I don't know about you, but you know, if I could buy forever at a price, I'd buy it twice. That's another song. Okay. Anyway, I'll also take this. Oh yeah, this was out and about. I think she was. I did have a picture of her doing her little pose and twirl. It's a GIF. I have it posted. I hate Instagram. I don't know how many times I tell to say this, but I hate Instagram. Shitstagram. Like, why is the formatting so awful? It's not the formatting of like layout or orientation, but the file just won't upload. Like, it just won't upload. You know, I'm going through the constraints under 1 gigabyte. I'm doing, you know, whatever. There's just like so many constraints. And then when I do finally upload it, for some reason it doesn't look good on the computer, but it looks okay on the phone. So I'm just like, I just get pissed off. But that's just me Instagramming hating. Like, Instagram in general is just like, it's not there to like post photos or videos anymore of people. It's just there to just advertise you garbage. And it's kind of like pissing me off because I don't need to learn how to use or like how to take this photo with this light bulb. Like, I can do that same light design with like a $10 flashlight or a $5 LED light rope that you can get off of Amazon or the dollar store, you know? So maybe that's just like my thing, because I'd rather spend more money on the camera itself. And then the light fixtures is just like, okay, well, I can work with whatever lighting to me, in my opinion. Like, you can always make do with any lighting condition, I think. It just helps, of course, if you have the best lighting conditions, right? Because then you're compensating on the camera. I'd rather compensate on the lighting than the camera, because I can always control, the photographer, can control my camera choice. But I cannot always control the lighting choice. So this is another one. This is on the side. This is another, this is another GIF. But I kind of like this. I don't know who this guy is, but it's got a Wanted poster. I was thinking like One Piece, but who knows? But it just says Wanted. But yeah, I thought it was a nice costume. He's got like, you know, monkey ears and stuff. But yeah, cute little costume. This one I know for sure it's Fox. So I know that he's a Nintendo character. Fox, you know, character. He's got his gun out. This was actually shot at like 12,800. You can kind of see it, but the lighting, like I said before, the lighting conditions were so horrendous at this convention. Like at Dulles Expo Center, it was a good shot, I'd say. And look, I mean, he's in a suit, fursuit, so you know, you don't have to like, you can over sharpen the image and all that stuff. You know, you can really bump up everything in the image since there's no humans involved in the image. I'm going to go through the ones that are before the cosplay. Like some of these people did do the costume, like cosplay costume. Then we got this guy on a bat. Don't know what he is, but the costume looked cool. And he did pose for a second, but like you know, like if you're seeing random people walk around, it's like you don't want to make them like stand there for like 10 minutes, 5 minutes. No, you take 1 or 2 shots. I literally took 2 shots, but I used the first image, of course, because it's just the framing. So again, it's all about capturing the moment, and sometimes we only have those little moments to take the image, you know, because I don't know if you've ever been like that, where you're taking a photo, you don't have the camera out, but you see something to take a photo of, but before you know it, the image is gone, right? The moment is gone. So because of this camera, I have been able to capture those little moments just so easily. Like, it's not that my camera is off or the startup time or whatever. It's not that. It's just that, are you able to react fast enough, and if your camera settings are fast enough? And at a certain point, I just think that like, I'd rather just have it than not have it and regret it, than, you know, to not use it, then regret not having it, right? And then needing to use it. It's like one of those things. Like, and if you can compensate that by just throwing some money, like, you got to really think about it. Like, you can't you can't buy time, right? Like you literally cannot buy time. So the only way that you can like negotiate with time is you know, going through technology or going through certain things, right? Like maybe you get a free meal, but you have to wait in line for an hour. If your hour is valuable, you know, you could work somewhere and then work for that hour and then buy yourself a meal at that same price. Or, but then of course we've come to the conclusion that like some things aren't even purchasable, right? So like these moments, I mean, technically if I talk to the cosplayer and then I did a photo shoot with them, yeah, maybe I could buy their time. But I went to these conventions because I just want to take the photos. You know, I want somewhat like candid in the sense because where it's like nothing to pose. Because like I don't know, it's kind of like in a sense photojournalism, but not to that degree, of course. But you know, if I do a photo shoot with people, like you know, it's like sometimes I don't even want to do photo shoots. Like you know, when you get hit up, because like I just can't be bothered. You know, but that's just me. Like certain conditions of things. But oh, here's another one. There's the you know, the muncher, the whatever it's called, vine muncher. I don't know. I know it's from Mario. I do know that the plant, but yeah, I thought it was cool. Cool costume. This again was at 12,000 yeah, 12,000 ISO. It like really pisses me off. Like I wish that this you'll see it in the next image, I think. Yeah. But yeah, I'll just go through this one real quick. Yeah, this was a good costume. I think I get the framing well. I didn't get the side all the way, but you know, some of these things, like it is what it is when you take these photos. Like you just inevitable with these things. Like you know, you're not in the, you know, you're just not in the ideal conditions, which kind of like, it's also trying to train me to like be able to take photos in a sense that like, can I frame properly in under sudden conditions? So yeah, great photo, I think. I mean, like I said, in my opinion. Yeah, usually I only took one photo, or I took multiple photos because there's actually a GIF. I'm gonna release that later of him turning around, so it looks kind of creepy. So I'm gonna reverse it. So he was like looking this way, and then he turned away. So I'm gonna reverse it so that he's turning towards the camera. So it looks kind of cool. It's kind of like the bendy photo. Oh, I don't even know if I took. Did I even print the bendy photo? No, I did not print the bendy photo. I thought that was a great photo. Anyway, we got, I think it's Paulina. I think she won something. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah. You can also see, well, you can see she's got LED light strips on her headgear. Wow, and it changes color. You'll be able to see that in the GIF that I'll put out later. But yeah, again, like these are these things that you can take it with a regular camera, but like if you try to put it into a GIF or if you try to put it into motion, you might have some banding issues. You might have some lighting issues. And I tell you what, the lighting was horrendous at this event, like horrendous. This is again like 12,000 ISO. And it just kind of like, I was just like, the whole time I was like, man, this lighting is horrible. And I could have gone like, you know, I think I shot this at 10,000th of a second because it's just like a lot of these images I did 10,000 seconds because, you know, people who look through the XF data, they're like, oh, 10,000 a second, huh? So it just shows like, you know, it's kind of imprinting the image that, oh, this was shot on like a SONYA9iii III. You know, I don't know. I guess you got to make your mark in the photo somewhere because it's like technically advanced. But yeah, I did like this image of her. But yeah, is it very clear? No. But it is an image, and I did capture something rather than nothing, right? It's just one of those things. A lot of times, you know, I still haven't seen the Otakon Matsuri outside event. I only saw one video, and the video was so, like, to me, it was so much banding and so many laser light issues that I was like, oh, they just didn't take photos well enough, or like they didn't change the settings, or they didn't crop in so that you wouldn't make it apparent. But like to me, if you have epilepsy, I don't have epileptic seizures or anything, but if you have epileptic, if you're prone to epileptic seizures and the lightings, it's gonna like hurt your brain. And I do see it in videos all the time. I get it. These videos go viral or something. I like it's great, but like if it was technically good, then more people would have watched it, because I can't listen to something that's in a different language, or but if the lighting conditions are so bad, like I've seen some of these Instagram reels, like you see the flashing, and I'm just like the whole time I'm just thinking like, oh my gosh, like what if someone watching this didn't see it? But now Instagram, I bet, has to have, I think Instagram and YouTube and all that should have a setting saying, okay, is this epileptic warning related? So like you can check it off or check it off the box. Because in my opinion, it just gives me headaches when I see motion blur and when I see epileptic lighting in videos, of course. If I see motion blur in photos, that also gives me headaches. But that's just like me. That's just a me thing. Like that's entirely just a me thing. And then this is me critiquing on the SUPERNOVA Con. In my opinion, okay, this is from Final Fantasy. This I know, because Final Fantasy is such a big hit. I don't play Final Fantasy, but I do know a bit, And I'm sure if you're a hardcore MMOer of Final Fantasy, I don't know the guy exactly, but I do know this in Final Fantasy. But again, in my opinion, SUPERNOVA Con in all the convention centers should have a catwalk fashion show type of look, so that the character can do their moveset. They build up to the moveset. So with it's like it's giving you a timeline of like, oh, okay, so I gotta do some moveset. I gotta show off my character skill or my character dressing within this small time frame, and it gives everyone a concise, specific amount. Instead of like, some people, they just like dilly daddle, and then some people like they get right to it, and they do their move set, or they show off their costume and stuff really well, and they're like quick about it, or they simplify the time, right? So I think, in my opinion, I feel like all cosplay shows should have a catwalk. And if you think wrong, I don't know. Fashion houses do this all the time, right? They run up a catwalk. Now, of course, there's different types of catwalks, right? Like there's, maybe they build the stage out differently. Maybe these cosplay places, cosplay conventions can build out the catwalks differently. But I think just to make it easy, just have a flat box or whatever, just flat box going from beginning to end and just like into the crowd, right? Because then also you give better unique footage, better unique photo opportunities. That is the reason why they use catwalks for fashion houses. It's just a great way to showcase the entire 360 of the person and what they're wearing, right? So again, I thought it was a good photo. And then I had a GIF of it, so it's him pulling out the sword and then him looking down and stuff. So I thought it was cool as well. Here we had the Peach, the Princess Peach. I don't know if it's two Peaches, but all I know it's Princess Peach and one of them. But yeah, this is them like kissing a stuffed animal toad. Oh, this is a big dragonfly right above my car right now. But yeah, I thought it was a good photo as well, because this is actually part of a GIF. So in this photo, the reason why you take 120 frames per second is then you get 14-bit RAW files, right? So you can really just change the settings. Again, this was like ISO like 8000. Like the lighting conditions were so bad. Like I think they need to bring their own lightings. They had the whole setup of the streaming setup, but like they didn't need all that, in my opinion. I feel like they needed more lighting when it comes to their showcasing of the stuff on stage. Like, and I'm pretty sure that they needed better lighting as well. When I was watching their with the recordings on the thing, like just the live preview, they had a live preview on the TV, and then they had a live preview of like the cameras around that people were recording. I feel like the lighting conditions were not good, and then there was also a lot of they were using a lot of red light so that it kind of seeps through, and then you can kind of see in the image. So then you have to do the white balancing and stuff. So then you have to color correct it post. On the spot, if you look at the image itself, horrendous. But because of software, you can, color correct and all that to make it like, it goes back to the true image again of what you actually see, right? What you see is what you get. Because my camera was able to see it, but it's just like, oh, like, this is kind of the footage. Anyway, because I didn't take any video because, like, I was just like, yeah, I don't, like, what am I going to do with the clips? Like, plus I'm going to have to edit it. It's not about that. Plus, like, this is like a photo moment. Sometimes the only video moment I wish I took a video of, like, some dude was tap dancing and he was going hard. Like, he was like syncing up to the music and he was like tap dancing like his heart out, and it was good. But that's like the only thing that I wish I took video of. I did take some videos of like the drummers and stuff and took photos of it. So I'll post that as well as a GIF, and I got to tag them later. I think they were part of the orchestra. And then last but not least, we got this was a couple photo, and they won the Pikmin. So, again, this wasn't the most pleasant looking photo, I'd say, but it is a photo of a winning shot, like because they won the like partner competition costume thing. So, again, if I had to choose, I thought it was an okay image. It's more so of like just like an event, like it's like you're taking photos like an event. If I had to choose which was the best photo in terms of like there's photo quality but also look, it would have to be the Fox costume, I think. The Fox costume or the Paulina. Because yeah, I think these images, even though like really low res, I think, like I said before, it's about capturing the moment. And, you don't want some sway in the image. You don't want some, like, weird looking distortion or blur. I think, in my opinion, that's just, like, what I like in the images, right? If you see an event and you see the photos and you see blur, it's like, at a certain point, it's not about artistic, whatever. If you want to make an artistic choice to have blur, sure, in a controlled setting. But if you are trying to do event photography or something where it's kind of like documentation, I don't think blur should be in the photo. But that's just like my dumb opinion, right? Like, who cares about my opinion? But yeah, I really really like these shots. And then there's also the bendy image. The bendy image was amazing as well. But I have a GIF of it on my Insta, and then I did post it just like around social medias. But out of all the images, I did really like these two. And again, it's yeah, I think this was like a good event. I just wish that the lighting was better. The lighting was horrendous again. Like, it was just, the lighting was so bad. And I'm like so confused. Like, they had the whole streaming crew, which they didn't need, because people who stream on Twitch, they can do it out of like their bedroom, right? And then you want to make it a full-scale production. I understand that, but it seemed like there was like more. It didn't seem that necessary, because now we've created systems where it's actually very, very small, right? Like, now you don't need like intervalometer externally, right? You can actually do it all in the camera settings. Or double exposure, you can technically do it in the camera settings if your camera allows it, of course. Like, or time lapse or whatever. Like, before you would have to actually manually do it, but we've gotten to that point where we don't really need to do that anymore. And it seemed like they took up a lot of space as well. I remember last year, there was more space for people to do whatever. But I guess, like, I mean, still this year, there's still a lot of space. But, I mean, you know, maybe if they had more space, they could have had better lighting, right? Like, again, even though they were in the corner for the cosplay contest thing, the event had such bad lighting. And it really, like, pissed me off. Like, other than that, it was, like, a good event. Like, can't go wrong with SUPERNOVA Con. I don't know why they changed the name. It's so... Them changing their name kind of, like, pissed me off, because I was like, there's, like, literally no tags online. And the only thing that is, like, taggable is, like, YouTube. But, you know, people are going there to watch the Smash tournament results and all that kind of stuff. And then they had, like, a little orchestra and then the dude talking and stuff. I did watch some of them. But, like, yeah, I just wish that there was better lighting. Yeah, I hope that was a interesting video. I don't know if you took anything from it, but yeah, if you liked the video, you know, subscribe, like it. I will go to, like, other cosplay events. There's supposed to be some cosplay thing later at the National Harbor, but I don't know if I'll go, because I looked up the location event and there's, like, nothing tagged in it. Like, nobody's tagging photos. So is it really happening? If someone takes a photo, if nobody takes a photo, did the event really happen? I don't know. But anyway, that's great. You know, this is the fellow Teslayan, so thank you for watching. Like I said, like and subscribe if you like the content. If you don't, I don't care. I'm still going to put out this content in 4K 60p, 600 megabytes per second footage. 4K, baby. You know, I'm looking, I'm perusing everything. Nobody's doing anything on S-Log 3 or anything. So it makes you kind of like, oh, what are people doing nowadays? You know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, that's me, Camille out.